Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Expert, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is happening. My name is Jess and we do these live streams every single day. So if you are new here, please don't forget to hit subscribe and like today's video so you don't miss out on the latest cryptocurrency news. Currently, Bitcoin is up for us today, so we are up to $29,250, up 2.25% in the last 24 hours. And Ethereum is also treating us nicely, up 2.5% in the last 24 hours to 1,913. So we have seen some nice moves to the upside. In fact, the whole market is looking pretty green. We've seen a huge amount of tweets on crypto Twitter around the meme coins. Different meme coins are popping up and going absolutely crazy. Now, we will discuss meme coins in today's video. We will also be discussing the interest rates, and we will be taking a look at the general cryptocurrency news, and we'll hear what CZ thinks about meme coins as well. So we have a lot of news to uncover today, and then we are going to take a look at the price of Bitcoin and do some Bitcoin analysis at the end of today's stream. So let's get straight into it. First of all, let's take a look at this news about the interest rates. Let's get today's stream all set up, make sure it's all running smoothly. So we are taking a look at the interest rates. Taking a look in the chat for a second first, we have everybody saying good morning. Hola, hello, thank you very much for joining us again. Snowman says peepo, peepo, peepo. We're not talking about specific meme coins on today's stream. This is a coin that Jordan has just been tweeting about on Twitter. CryptoTube said, is she TMG misses or no? No, I am not. Let's take a look at this piece of news anyway. Here we have Fed hikes interest rates by 25 basis points. So they've raised interest rates by 25. Now this was expected. There was an 85% probability that this was going to occur. The other 15% was that we were going to have hit that terminal rate and it was going to stay the same. Now, the US government increased interest rates in order to try and reduce inflation. Inflation hit a high of 9.1% in the US. It's currently down to 5%. Now, this is pretty impressive. I've even pulled the graph up here. So we can see here, back in June 2022, year on year, inflation in the US was 9.1%. And that was obviously incredibly high. We have got that down to 5%. And that is thanks to the interest rates. But these higher interest rates have caused a huge amount of problems. We are still seeing them increase it because they're on a mission to get their inflation rate down to 2%. And to do that, well, essentially, for inflation to reduce, they need people to spend less money. How do they get people to spend less money? They increase interest rates. So taking out loans and mortgages is even higher than before. People have less money to spend and therefore spend less money, so inflation comes down. Now, obviously, it is working. The interest rates rising is causing the inflation rates to decline. But we have seen a big move to the downside here now. So in February, March 2023, the inflation rate year on year was 6%. And then in April, we hit down at 5%. So that's 1% decline in just 1 month's time or 1.5 months' time. So we can see that's a major move to the downside. So some people did believe that that showed that the interest rates were working and we can start to reach that terminal point. That terminal point is the point at which they stop increasing interest rates and they just keep it the same in that steady flat line so that inflation rates can continue to decline. But we can see clearly here, we have not yet hit that point. Now, we have heard from some Fed officials over the last couple of months that they didn't think we'd hit that point yet and we did need to see a couple of more increases. So that is what we have seen here. But hopefully, we are starting to hit a point now where we will hit that terminal rate and interest rates will start to flatten. Inflation will continue to decline and gradually we can start bringing those interest rates back down again. The interest rates are what is causing all of these problems within the banking system as well. So earlier in March, we saw 3 banks being shut down. This week, we've seen First Republic Bank be acquired by JP Morgan. And we've seen the stocks of many other banks plummet as well. So First Republic Bank had $100 billion of user deposits being withdrawn. And the news of that meant the stock fell 50%. Now, the reason that having a huge amount of deposits from withdrawals from a bank is a concern is because banks use what they consider a pretty safe method in which they buy a bond. Now, when you buy a bond, it has its par value, and this is the value at the start and at the end of the duration. And throughout the duration of that bond, so it may be like, for example, a 12-month bond. If it's a 12-month bond and it's worth $1,000 at its par value, it'll be worth $1,000 at the start and $1,000 at the end. If the bank buys that bond, they get paid interest on holding that bond throughout that 12-month period. Now, if they want to sell that bond prior to those to the point at the end of those 12 months, it may not be at its par value. It may not be worth its par value. Instead, the value usually looks something like this. So in the duration of that bond, it actually sits in an unrealized loss. If the bank can hold on to that bond until the 12 months are up, then they can sell it again for their par value. But if they need to sell during that period, they need to realise those unrealised losses, which they probably haven't really considered taking into account, because most banks see this as a pretty safe method because they know they can hold on to the bond for the duration. But if the banks see a huge amount of withdrawals, they need to get liquid cash quickly. So they need to sell some of these bonds, even if they haven't reached duration yet. And this can cause a huge amount of losses and a huge amount of problems for the banks. And we've seen this over and over again. I hope I've explained that clearly, because that is quite a complicated concept, I'd say. I hope that makes sense. That's all the concerns that we have. Now, the value of that bond during that duration changes, and when the interest rates increase, it means that bonds that are issued in today's market are worth more than bonds that were issued in history, because the interest rate on the newly issued bonds are higher. And they want to get the highest interest rate because they want to earn the most money while they're holding on to these bonds. So older issued bonds are worth less than newer issued bonds. So it creates all of these problems. So that's what we've been seeing with the banking system and the effects of these interest rates on the banking system. But we are seeing positively the inflation rates decline because of this. So we do know we need to kind of hold on through this pain and hope that we can cling on. A lot of people are seeing these fears within the banking system and moving to assets like Bitcoin as well. So we have seen significant price rises for the price of Bitcoin when these problems have occurred. And yesterday, when we did hear this interest rate hike, we did see some fluctuations in the price of Bitcoin, but overall we've seen a nice move to the upside. So let's move on to the next piece of news now, because I've spoke about that a lot, and it's quite, I don't know how interested everybody is in that. I think it's quite an interesting concept. We're moving on to meme coins anyway. I know a lot of you like the meme coins. We have already seen Snowman comment in the chat, Peepo, Peepo, Peepo. This is the new meme coin that Jordan TMG has been discussing on his Twitter this morning. So let's take a look at these two articles about meme coins. We are currently in meme coin season. The prices of meme coins are just rocketing. We have seen this before. We've had a meme coin season before back in 2021, and it seems that history is rhyming this time around. So you can see here Binance CEO admits to never really understanding meme coins. So you can see here, if a coin has a lot, he said, if a coin has a lot of trading volume, Binance could list it after carrying out the necessary due diligence before listing. So obviously we all know meme coins have no real utility. They're just a meme that have a token behind them. They can have huge amounts of trading volumes and they can just skyrocket in price. And we've seen that back in 2021 during the meme coin season, and we are now seeing it again today. Now obviously there are a few anomalies that have just performed really, really well throughout that time, but really this is a massive meme coin season right now. So we can see here that he has stated, I personally never really understood meme coins. There are many successful people who do seem to understand them, including Elon Musk and others, so we go by users. If a coin has a lot of users trading it, wanting it, playing with it, etc., then we'll most likely list it. If the coin only lasts for 2 weeks, then we probably won't. But if it holds, then we probably will. So we view coins from a user perspective. So he's saying, I don't get it. If our users get it, we'll allow them to trade the asset on the exchange. Now, meme coins are created to trade. That's their only real use case. They have no utility that we can bring in that could benefit us. There's nothing like Chainlink has real world utility, or many other altcoins have real world utility. There's nothing of that. It's just a token that goes up and down in value, and if you manage to get in at the right time and get out at the right time, you can make huge amounts of money, and it's just stupid. But when the markets are moving in this way, some people want to take advantage of that, including myself. I want to make some nice profits off these meme coins. They are incredibly volatile, and if you like volatility and you like risk, then it can be quite fun. But you have to remember, a lot of people lose a lot of money in these kinds of assets. You always have to remember, on one side there's a buy order, there's also a seller. So the money is coming in and out. It's not made out of thin air. So we need to be considerate of that and just be very, very careful that to make money, someone else has got to lose money. Obviously, you can't control that. That's how a market works. But just be careful and realize that you could be on the side of the losses if you're not careful. They're very volatile. They can get rug pulled. We just need to be incredibly careful. And a huge amount of meme coins are being made right now. But we can see here that he's talking about how they list coins on to the Binance exchange. We have another article here about meme coins, so I want to discuss that really a little bit more. So let's move on to that one. If you want more news on how Binance and CZ think about meme coins and listing them on the exchange, make sure to go to cryptosavingexpert.com, the best cryptocurrency website out there. And if you go over to the website and press this big blue button at the top, create an account and tick that box there, you get access to our newsletter every single Tuesday at 11 a.m. BST time. So don't miss out on that. And it's a nice wrap up of what's happened in the week in crypto if you haven't managed to catch up. Let's move on to the next article here. We have, is the meme coin frenzy over, or will Pepe reach new highs? So let's take a look at this. There's been a huge amount of interest around meme coins in the last couple of weeks, as I was just saying. And we can see here that Wojak saw a 800% pump, and Pepe lookalike Bob rose 1,000% in the span of 1 week. Many investors are wondering if the meme coin fever will continue. Now, I've put a tweet out this morning on my Twitter page because obviously none of this is financial advice, but I've sat in the markets for a while and I've watched the markets for years now. I've been full-time crypto for 3 years, and I've sat on the sidelines and I've watched, for example, the meme coins pumping in 2021 when the metaverse tokens were doing really well in 2021 as well, and the AI coins doing really well towards the start of this year. Tokens can perform very, very well, and sectors in the markets can perform very, very well. And a lot of the times I've looked at them and I've thought they're performing really, really well, but I've missed that boat. I need to find the next one. Sometimes we do. Sometimes I'm already holding, like, I may have already held a couple of meme coins before a couple of metaverse tokens before the metaverse really kicked off, and I did take some nice profits. But most of the time, when things went too big, I thought I was too late. And I've noticed over and over again with the meme coin season, with AI tokens going well, and with metaverse tokens going well over the years, these seasons actually last for quite a while. And when I think I'm too late, I usually sit on the sidelines and watch these projects continue to perform quite well. So this time I'm doing something different. We can see meme coins are performing well, and I'm taking advantage of this opportunity. I'm not going to sit back and say I've missed this one. Obviously, I don't want to ape into tokens incredibly late when they're on a massive pump, but also I don't want to miss out and watch them continue to pump for the next month, because these seasons, in my experience anyway, do tend to last quite a while. Now, I do think this will come to an end. I think all of these meme coins will start to move to the downside. So obviously some meme coins perform very well. Dogecoin is still in the top 10 cryptocurrencies in terms of market cap, which does blow my mind because that's surely not its fair market value. A lot of people have different opinions on this. We have different meme coins that then grow to have a utility and become an exchange or such and such when they've got that sorry, I got distracted by the chats then. Let's take a look at, let's carry on with that sentence. When they've got an audience, they may choose to create a utility for their tokens so they can become a proper altcoin. But overall, meme coins can perform very, very well. But this meme coin season will come to an end like it always does. And some of these tokens will see significant falls to the downside. So you just always have to be careful. And during seasons like this, more than ever, you should always, always, always make sure to take profits. Let's take a look at the next at this article here anyway. Just in the chat, Jason Smith said maybe an opportunity to release a CFC token for a quick grab. I don't think that'll be happening anytime soon. We don't want to grab money off our followers. We are trying to provide free educational content to our users. We don't want to be stealing. So make sure, if you don't want to get involved in anything yet and you just want to learn about cryptocurrencies a little bit more completely for free, make sure to go to cryptosavingexpert.com. So we can see here the past week has seen further gains for the popular meme coin Pepe, the frog, and you can see here, let's take a look at this article. Pepe is leading the meme coin mania, so it's pumped massively. It has reached the top 100 cryptocurrencies in terms of market cap this week, and it got the Trump-inspired slogan, "Make meme coins great again." So let's take a look at this. There are a few concerns around the whales in Pepe. So we can see here, CoinMarketCap is also concerned about results that whales scooped up 7% of the total Pepe supply very quickly after the coin was launched on exchanges. 13 whales are said to hold 29 trillion tokens and are many tens of millions of dollars in profits. Now, Obviously, these whales haven't yet decided to sell, but if they choose to take some profits, it could massively affect the price of the asset. We can see here that these wallets are continuing to hold, and it is likely they think Pepe has got further to run. Now, this is a mindset that we need to be careful of. We don't want to be thinking that these coins are going to be the next Bitcoin. These meme coins have no real world utility. We just need to be incredibly careful with these whales that are in huge amounts of profits. I'd be taking profit if I was them. Let's take a look at the next one. Pepe most popular Uniswap liquidity pool. So we can see here, it's creating the most popular search term on the data analytics site Nansen. According to their database, the Pepe, WETH, Uniswap V2 and V3 liquidity pools have been the most active of all Uniswap liquidity pools in the past week, totaling over 155,700 transactions between them. And so that is a huge number. And we can see here Pepe inspiring a flood of meme coins. Other coins have been performing incredibly well. We have seen already Snowman commenting Peepo, 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 because this is the new one that Martini guy is after over on his Twitter. Let's take a look at the next article here anyway and see what's going on. So a couple of you may remember a couple of weeks ago, we did hear the former CTO of Coinbase put on a bet that Bitcoin would reach $1 million within 3 months. Now the cutoff period I think was the 1st of June on this. And we can see here that he's called off this $1 million bet on Bitcoin's price and has paid the parties involved for defaulting. So despite standing on his claims that the US will still experience hyperinflation, he called the bet off and said the stunt was to warn the public about it. So the bet that Bitcoin was going to reach $1 billion wasn't that the price was going to soar. It was based on the fact that the US would have hyperinflation and the value of the dollar would massively decrease. And that would cause the value of Bitcoin to increase to $1 million, when really it wouldn't have that much it would probably have a similar buying power, or a little bit more buying power than it does now, but it would be massively due to the buying power of the US dollar declining. And so that bet has been defaulted on, and that is no longer, we've got another month to go, but Bitcoin hitting $1 million within the next month, to me, doesn't seem likely to just yet. I wasn't too convinced at the time, but he's still warning us, the former CTO of Coinbase is still warning us that we may still experience hyperinflation, and this is a warning to get people's attention, and this is definitely something that he did to get people's attention. So let's take a look at the next article here and see what else is going on in the world of crypto. We'll just skim through a couple of these articles. So the Bitcoin miner Marathon Digital produced $20 million worth of Bitcoin in April, and they produced 702 Bitcoins. Ended April with more than $123 million in unrestricted cash. That's a huge amount of money. Let's take a look at the next one here. We have South Korean government made $3.7 million from seized cryptos. So the South Korean authorities seized $413,000 worth of crypto from smugglers in 2018, but could not sell the assets for 4 years. During this time, Bitcoin's bull market came and went. So they have created a profit off this, and they've been hodling since 2018. So we can see a huge move to the upside there. So whether they will sell this in the or maybe they already have sold this. Let's take a look at this article. The court eventually permitted the Treasury to liquidate the crypto in January 2022. By then, Bitcoin had entered and exited a colossal bull cycle, but was still trading at around $38,500. The unknown seized crypto had increased almost 9 times in value from when it was seized, netting the South Korean Treasury a profit of $3.7 million, as it had no initial investment from the authorities. So that is a huge increase in price for the South Korean Treasury. Let's move on to the next article here and see what else is going on in the world of crypto. Before we do though, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. This is an interesting article now. I've had a little bit of a look at this morning. Right, I don't know how we pronounce this S-U-I, but I'm going to say Sue. I may be wrong, but we'll stick with that for now. Tell me in the chat if you know anything different. We can see here that the price takes a dive following its launch on Binance, KuCoin, and OKX. Now, this is obviously something that I would definitely expect anyway. We can see the price massively increased all the way to $2, and then started to settle down at $1.33. Now, let's see what the price of Sue is right now. If we take a look at the chart here on the Crypto Saving Expert website, we can see here it's around $1.33 as well. So we have seen some, I'm on a way too small of a time frame right now. Let's go into the half-hour time frame. We can see here, if we zoom in, we've been trading between, it shot up, as I said, to $2, and then it's been trading between $1.50 and, let's get this right, $1.20. So we have seen some solid price movement for SU. So let's discuss why. So SU is a new blockchain that is a smart, that helps, it's basically a competitor to Ethereum. And lots of people are calling it the Ethereum killer. Now, we've heard that term be used many, many times in the world of crypto. New blockchains come about and many people call it the Ethereum killer. Ethereum is still holding strong and number 2 in terms of market cap and continues to do so. And I definitely think the legacy and the audience that Ethereum has created over the years is something that holds that spot. It may not be the most efficient blockchain, but it has been able to hold that spot for so long, and having that history behind it is something that's really important. So we can see here that SU Network claims several advantages over other blockchains, including faster transaction processing time and sub-second transaction finality. So they can finalize transactions in 48 milliseconds, and that is compared to Solana, which is much longer. That must have been a different article that I was reading. I don't know the time for Solana, but I think Solana is around 20 seconds, and SU has a transaction finality of 480 milliseconds. So we can see here the managing director of the SU Foundation has said, for the first time, builders and users have access to a layer 1 blockchain that allows developers to build freely without being inhibited by complex infrastructure and unlocks endless possibilities for users across the world. So we have definitely seen a lot of excitement and hype around this token. Now, the price has had a massive increase and then started to cool down in this price region. I've also been taking a look at this morning, and I have noticed the lockup period for this isn't incredible, so we can see a huge amount of tokens being added into circulation within the next couple of months, and that's definitely something I would be aware of. Always look at the tokenomics when you're investing into an altcoin. Look at the lockup periods. So what happens is, when a project creates a altcoin, they will send a few out into the public so people can trade them, and sometimes they'll keep a certain amount of tokens, and they may lock up those tokens for a period of time. So they may be released into circulation in 6 months' time, in 1 year's time, or it may be every single day they release them into circulation. When tokens are released into circulation, it's diluting the asset, so it means that we may see a fall in the price. If demand is the same and supply is increasing, the price is going to fall. So we need either demand to continue to increase for the price to increase, or it can be a problem and the price of the asset can decline. So always looking at the lockup period and seeing when tokens are going to be released into circulation is really useful. So that's what we need to look at in the tokenomics. Obviously, you want to be careful and look at other things as well. If you want to learn what else to look for when trying to choose which altcoins to invest into, make sure to go to Crypto 101 here on the Crypto Saving Expert website. So just press courses at the top and then go to Crypto 101. And at the bottom of here, we have how to spot altcoin gems. And in there, we talk all about the tokenomics of different altcoins. And this is a course for beginners. It takes around 15 minutes, and you can learn all of those tips that I've just been giving you there as well. Another tip that I found really useful when I got into cryptocurrency, completely unrelated, is when I got into cryptocurrency, I looked at the top 20 cryptocurrencies and I researched them all, so I understood how they all worked and what they all did and what utility they brought. And then from that, whenever I looked at a really low cap coin, the majority of the time had a top 20 coin that I could compare that to. So I instantly got an understanding of what this low cap coin is. And then what I'd do is I'd compare the two and see if this low cap coin is actually a competitor for that really popular coin, or whether it doesn't really have any legs to stand on. So that's a really good way to learn about different cryptocurrencies really quickly. If you master the top 20, most of the time when you're looking for a lower cap coin, you'll be able to see what top 20 coin it's competing against and whether it has any legs to stand on to actually try and perform pretty well and outperform that higher cap coin. So let's take a look at the next article here anyway, and see what's going on in the news. Before we do though, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. We currently have on today's stream 16 likes. We can do better than that. Let's try and get to 25 before the end of today's stream. Let's take a look at the next article here. We have Robert F. Kennedy says Biden's proposal 30% tax on crypto mining is a bad idea. Now he's stating it would be a mistake if crypto innovation is pushed elsewhere. Now we're already seeing this with regulation of cryptocurrency within the US, and now we're seeing taxing on Mining cryptocurrency within the US, it can just become more and more problematic. We've seen the regulators are pushing companies to just operate in different jurisdictions. And if these mining taxes come in place, we could see the same happen for miners as well. And in that scenario, the US is just falling really behind on the curve of this new technology, of blockchain technology, and the benefits that it can bring to different industries. So let's take a look at the next article anyway. If you want to take a look at this article in a little bit more detail, don't forget to go to cryptosavingexpert.com, the best cryptocurrency website out there. Let's take a look at the next article we have here. Study shows crypto traders are harvesting losses to avoid billions of dollars in taxes. So same sort of token here, we're looking at taxes and looking at people within the cryptocurrency industry and how they're dealing with this. Now, I wouldn't say this is a bad idea. So researchers call for regulation and policy clarity on crypto taxation following increased tax loss harvesting amongst users. So when you have a cryptocurrency, if you invest in Bitcoin at $1,000 and it goes to $10,000, if you sell that, you get $9,000 that needs to be taxed. If it's the other way around, if it goes from $10,000 to $1,000 and you sell it, you don't need to pay tax. You can count that $9,000 loss against your tax bill. But only if you sell it at that $1,000. So a lot of people do that, but you need to make sure that you don't buy it again within 90 days, because if you buy Bitcoin again within 90 days, well, this is at least true for in the UK, it doesn't actually count as a sale. It doesn't count. So you need to be really careful with this. It's all incredibly confusing. It's not something I've got my head around yet. I just give it all to the accountant and say, please sort this all out. But we can see here that we need more regulation on this and understanding around this. But let's move on to the next article. We have Credibly Neutral, a new venture capital firm, announced that it raised $5.5 million. So the founders of the Polygon and Solana blockchains and the investment firm controlled by Joe Lubin, the co-founder of Ethereum and Consensus, has invested $5.5 million in Credibly Neutral, a new venture capital firm. So money's on there as well. If you want to read about that, make sure to go to cryptosavingexpert.com. But I think it's time to move on to the Bitcoin price and see what's going on over here. So we have actually seen our lines, our trusty lines here. We've had these levels of support and resistance on the chart for an incredibly long time now. I keep telling you all this because I saved this chart about 3 weeks ago, and the price has been respecting them so well. So we can take a look at this. We have Bitcoin currently, we did use this zone here between the $28,600 and the $28,000 level as a resistance, but we did manage to break through that, and we've now retested this line here. Now this is a line that I've drawn from these levels of resistance, 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 and this is actually at the $29,400 level, and we've just whipped that at this point here. And if we manage to break through this, we definitely have some levels of resistance above this as well. If we take a look at this point here, I would definitely say this is a level of previous support and resistance now. We also obviously have some points here, and we definitely have that point there at the $31,000 level. Now, this may be because we've seen more banking stocks fall within the last 24 hours, and the fears around the banking system has been causing Bitcoin to have significant moves to the upside. We've also seen these higher interest rates, which cause more fears around the banking system, which caused the price of Bitcoin to increase. Well, historically, that's what has happened anyway. However, the price of Bitcoin is definitely starting to consolidate. So let's take a look at some levels of support as well. We definitely have this range here at $28,800 to $28,600. Below that, we are looking at the $27,700 level. And then below that, we're looking at $26,900 to $26,600. But right now, I don't see these levels as being pretty likely. I think we should be looking at these higher levels and feeling pretty positive. Let's take a look at the RSI and the MACD to see what's going on here. My days have been so mixed up this week because it was bank holiday. It feels like a Friday now, but really it's only Wednesday because we had a bank holiday on Monday, but it is Thursday. So I'm so confused, but we've got one day left until we get the CME gap for the weekend. So let's get the RSI in and the MACD in, and then tomorrow we'll be discussing the CME gap and seeing what we think could be in store for the weekend. We can see here on the 4-hour chart, the RSI is neutral, if anything slightly overbought, but we are looking like we are having growing bullish momentum here on the MACD, so things are looking positive in terms of the 1-hour chart. We can see here MACD pretty neutral and the RSI neutral, slightly overbought, but nothing too crazy just yet. Overall, we are seeing meme coins massively pump over on cryptosavingexpert.com. If we take a look at the biggest gainers. Phantom is up 7.43% in the last 24 hours. Now that's out of the top 100, I think. But let's see if we can see what the biggest losers are as well. Biggest losers are... Well, USDD is pretty high in that, so it's not bad. It's always a good market when you see that the stable coins are in the top 20 for biggest losers of the last 24 hours. That's when you know it's not been a bad 24 hours. But that's all I have for today's stream. So thank you very much for tuning in. As always, I greatly appreciate it. We are on a mission to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you wouldn't mind hitting subscribe and that bell notification button, we'd all greatly appreciate it here at Crypto Saving Expert. Make sure to always do your own due diligence. Make sure to always research before you invest into things, and make sure to be incredibly careful during this meme coin season. But if you are profiting from it, congratulations, and I will see you all back here tomorrow. I'll see you then. Goodbye.